Yo, eat it, and welcome to Casa de Hollywood. Hope you guys have had an awesome long weekend. As you will see, we missed out an episode of Hollywood Hills last weekend just because I was running all over the place. I had some cool tours from the York Rally, and then I went straight up through the JG Stratum Tunnel to Limpopo for the Tour de Limpopo. So very cool to be stretching my legs in a couple of new areas of motorsport and cycling. But we're back on point now, and it's time to bring you guys all the news that is happening out there in the big bad world of off-road and enduro. Right, so this last weekend, this long weekend in fact, it was very cool to see the guys go down to PE and use a new area of PE. A little bit further down last year, it was all based around the Rover Club, so it was predominantly motocross based and a pretty fast paced event as well, super hot. This time, super windy, gnarly, rocky, lots of descents, lots of climbs, and a nice challenging route. So well done to the guys down at PE. Looks like Timmy Young had his hand in there, and the guys down at the Rover Club, but just using that different facility. With Wade Young overseas, it was always going to be a big battle to see who was going to walk away with the big one. Double T, Travis Teasdale, walks away with a nice big win to kick off his year, so he's doing a stellar job out there, and very cool to see T. Pimbrone, or P. Trimbrone, I forget how it's said actually, so apologies for that, but cool to see Trav walk away with a nice big win. A lot of riders coming back from injury as well, so we saw a couple of guys spaghetti their knees and have problems with their shoulders. Flanny managed to get himself back on with absolutely no time to repair his knee. I think he got signed off last week, and very cool to see him back on point. You know, he's had a couple of nasty ones with his knee, so pretty much got away with this. And even though he says to me he rode like a bit of a, well, I can't say the word. On the first lap, he picked up the pace and managed to walk away with a third place in category, so that's a cool one for him. The big kid, who was the shining light coming out of the first round, and that was William Oosthuizen from Cape Town, getting picked up by the factory squad. The Husqvarna guys have had a bit of a nightmare, but Fred's making good moves, good reactions. He picked up the big kid, and it's cool to see that move coming on board. That situation came about because, let's do a little timeline here. So the opening round of the GXCCs, Brett Swanepoel spaghettied himself badly. Out for the year, but on the mend, so that's all good news. He then got replaced by Taki Bojorges and got picked up by an off-road and enduro contract. Then Taki smashed himself up a little bit. That meant all of a sudden there's like a gap that needs to be filled once again. The kid on form, William Oosthuizen, I thought it'd be picked up by Yamaha, but the seats were open at Husky, and the kid did good. You know, he's still in there with a shout. He got a second place in the E1 category once again, fourth place overall. So he's going to be happy with that, and he'll stay as championship points leader there as well. Blake Goodsight was there in the mix as well. He got himself into second on the podium overalls. That's coming in at the end of his international season for World Enduros. So that's some good numbers and some key players back in the mix. The big story though of the weekend though was Dwayne Clenhams finally getting himself a national win, and he'll need that as well. You know, he wasn't happy with his ride down at Cape Town. He was and he wasn't. You know, the win was definitely there, and this time the win is definitely there. So he bags his first win of the season, and he's in with a good shout to walk away with championship points. So your points leaders heading into round number 3, it's going to be Dwayne in his category and William Oosthuizen in his. So very, very cool event coming into play, and nice to see all the guys getting back onto points and bringing home a load of championship points. The next thing we're going to be talking about is, I mentioned earlier that Wado wasn't going to be in the mix to come play with us down at PE. He was across the pond in the Dominican Republic, and he actually managed to really get a strong win going there. The Machete hard enduro, and a ton of players were out there. You know, Jarvis, Billy Bolt was there, all the KTM guys were there. In fact, Cody Webb made the trip across, and it wasn't really his style of event, but he made the trip anyway. But it was Wade that walked away with the big win, and it's a huge win as well, because it was a second place going to it's Manuel Lettenbichler, son of Andreas Lettenbichler, the original Letty, and third place going to Jarvis. So we may finally see a changing of the guard. So we've seen a lot of up-and-coming youngsters get good the last couple of seasons, but when you start seeing Wade and Manny get first and second ahead of Jarvis on an almost consistent basis, then we're looking good. Throw Billy Bolt into the mix as well, and it really is a changing of the guard scenario. So that's a very cool scenario and a very cool situation for all of us. But that's pretty much what happened. A couple of weeks back was the next round of Farm Jam. They had good numbers. Bit of a muddy track for those guys. And unfortunately, I was out just up in Mpumalanga and Limpopo sorting the other events out. But let's stay on point here. So next weekend, it looks like we're going to be going forward and getting ourselves ready for the rest of the season. May is a bit of a strange one, so bear with me on this. Towards the end of May, we had a double header on the calendar. The GXCC club, Lawrence Mahoney, was going to be running a double header of the National Endurers. That would be rounds 3 and 4. The last time I spoke to them at the last GXCC round, they said they were getting under pressure to move the date because it clashed with the bike festival at Kyalami. As yet, they haven't announced their dates. Hopefully they don't change, but if they do, we'll try and give you as much information and as much time as we can to go forward and prepare. But a bit of a weird, scrappy month because of that. With the GXCC club running that, of course, they're not going to be running a round of the GXCCs this month. So that gives a big gap, and I think the next round of the GXCCs is like halfway through next month. So around about a month and a half off for the GXCC Warriors. What's going to be happening, though, is this coming weekend, the next round of the National Off-Roads. So that's very much focused on the pinners, the off-road bike guys and the off-road quad guys, and I will confirm the quad guys are going down for this one. It's the Koa Bokkerveld. It's a classically run race. It's a wide open terrain, and we've always seen the guys come back from racing in the Cape telling us this is one of the most beautiful areas. So we'll wait for see what kind of reactions there are. I'm not going to be going down to that one again. There's a clash of dates with the National Off-Road Cars cross country, so I'm going to be going to Dundee. Hopefully it's not as rainy and cold and gross as it was last year. The bike guys will know exactly what I'm talking about, especially the quad guys that went out first thing on Friday and got absolutely nailed by the rain. I got creamed by the rain like the whole weekend. But that's what we're going to be reporting back on next weekend. So when I come back from Dundee, I will pick up the pieces and get all my spies in the skies out there and bring you a report back from the Koa Bokkerveld. For now, hope everyone had a nice long weekend. Hope everyone got home safe. I see the trucks are burning once again at Moy River. Nasty situation. Anyway, we'll sign off with that. Next weekend, we'll bring you all of the results and the report back from the next round of the National Off-Roads, the Koa Bokkerveld. So just big thanks to Polysport, to Holeshot, to Cayenne and Beta, obviously their products, for coming on board and helping us out with the running of Hollywood Hills. No specials to report back on, but we know that these guys will wake up second week of the month, and we'll bring you all of their specials going forward. For now, welcome back from a long weekend. Catch you guys later.